Imagine a kindly old woman, a beloved auntie to her family and friends. Her home, a sanctuary of warmth and comfort, filled with the aroma of freshly baked goods and strong tea. This is the image Caroline Grills projected, a facade of grandmotherly affection. But beneath this comforting veneer lurked a chilling darkness, a sinister secret that would shock a nation. She was known as Aunty Thally, a seemingly innocuous nickname for a woman who would become one of Australia's most notorious serial killers. Her weapon wasn't a knife or a gun, but something far more insidious, a silent killer hidden in plain sight. Her story is a stark reminder that evil often wears the most unexpected disguises. The year was 1953, and a series of inexplicable deaths began to plague the Grills family circle in Sydney. First, her stepmother, Christine Grills, passed away, seemingly from natural causes. Then, her sister-in-law, Evelyn Lundberg, followed, her health rapidly deteriorating after a visit to Aunty Thally. These were not isolated incidents. Soon after, her brother-in-law, John Lundberg, also succumbed to a mysterious illness. Each death was attributed to old age or common ailments, raising no immediate red flags among the unsuspecting family or medical professionals. Who would suspect a sweet old lady? Caroline Grills had a preferred method, a silent killer that left little trace in the immediate aftermath. She favored thallium, a heavy metal that, in small doses, mimics the symptoms of various common illnesses. It was the perfect weapon for a domestic killer. Thallium poisoning often presents with hair loss, gastrointestinal distress, and neurological problems. These symptoms could easily be mistaken for influenza, nervous disorders, or the natural decline of old age. It was a cruel, drawn-out demise, designed to avoid suspicion. Her victims were not strangers. They were her own flesh and blood, or those intimately connected to her family. Beyond Christine Grills and the Lundbergs, others fell ill after consuming food or drink prepared by Aunty Thally. Her motive, shrouded in mystery, seemed to stem from petty grievances or financial gain. One of her most chilling acts involved her daughter-in-law, Elsie Grills, and Elsie's husband, Roy. Both became gravely ill after consuming tea and cakes prepared by Caroline. Elsie suffered severe hair loss and paralysis, a telltale sign of the insidious poison at work. As the deaths and illnesses mounted, a subtle, unsettling pattern began to emerge. Every victim had recently spent time with Caroline Grills. Every victim had consumed her hospitality, her seemingly innocent offerings of tea, biscuits, or home-cooked meals. The sheer number of sudden, unexplained ailments within one family circle eventually caught the attention of a few observant individuals. It was too much to be mere coincidence. Too many tragedies clustered around one seemingly benevolent figure. Suspicion, like a slow-acting poison itself, began to spread. The turning point came with the severe illness of Elsie Grills. Her symptoms were so pronounced and unusual that doctors began to suspect something more sinister than a natural disease. The police were finally called in, and a full investigation was launched. Investigators began to meticulously re-examine the circumstances surrounding each death and illness. They looked at medical records, interviewed family members, and, most crucially, began to consider the possibility of foul play. The focus inevitably narrowed to the one common denominator, Caroline Grills. The authorities obtained court orders for the exhumation of several bodies. This was a critical step, as it allowed forensic scientists to search for the hidden killer. The results were shocking and undeniable. Traces of thallium were found in the remains of Christine Grills, Evelyn Lundberg, and John Lundberg. Further analysis of samples taken from the still-living victims, like Elsie Grills, also confirmed the presence of thallium. The scientific evidence was irrefutable. The kindly Aunty Thally was, in fact, a cold-blooded poisoner. The truth was far more horrifying than anyone had imagined. On May 22, 1953, Caroline Grills was arrested. The news sent shockwaves through Sydney and across Australia. The image of the sweet, grandmotherly figure shattered, replaced by the terrifying reality of a serial killer operating in plain sight. Her trial became a national sensation. The prosecution presented a mountain of evidence, detailing the string of deaths and illnesses, the consistent presence of thallium, and Grills's proximity to each victim. The defense struggled to counter the overwhelming scientific and circumstantial proof. The public watched, horrified and fascinated. After a gripping trial, the jury returned a verdict of guilty on 4 counts of murder and 1 count of attempted murder. Caroline Grills, the unassuming Aunty Thally, was sentenced to life imprisonment. The judge, in his sentencing, described her crimes as wicked and cruel. She became one of the few women in Australian history to be convicted of multiple murders by poisoning. Her case served as a chilling reminder that danger can lurk in the most unexpected places, even within the comforting embrace of family. The sweet poisoner was finally behind bars. Caroline Grills spent the remainder of her days in Sydney's Long Bay jail, where she earned another macabre nickname, Granny Evil. She died in prison in 1960 at the age of 71, reportedly from natural causes. Her death brought an end to a life marked by unimaginable cruelty. Her story continues to fascinate and horrify, a dark chapter in Australia's true crime history. It's a tale that reminds us to look beyond the surface, to question the seemingly innocuous, and to remember that sometimes the most dangerous monsters wear the kindest smiles, and perhaps to be just a little bit wary of that extra cup of tea. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to support our channel. Your support helps us create more dark stories, true crime mysteries, and deep dives into the minds of history's most twisted figures.